Greetings, brothers and sisters, people of the sun. This is Brother Salih once again, coming to you from the Zeb Tepe Institute. And I wanted to go back because the other day I spoke a little bit and I used a saying of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a foundation. And that saying was that the first man created himself out of the light that was the center of the circle. And then he willed the sun into being. And then 6 trillion years after the sun evolved or came forth man. And I want to go back to that a little bit, right? When we think about, it says he willed the sun into being. Now, what does it mean for the creation of the solar system? I went to one of the little sources online, and it says, when they talked about the formation of the solar system, it said approximately 4.6 billion years ago, the solar system was a cloud of dust and of gas known as a solar nebula. Gravity collapsed the material in and on itself, and it began to spin, forming the sun in the center of the nebula. With the rise of the sun, the remaining material began to clump together, and out of that is how the planets are formed. So, listen, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that the first man, a being, he willed the sun into being. So, in other words, what he did was he brought about the formation of the sun out of what you might call a solar nebula, or out of the material that was just in space. That's what he did. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. And this is a term that I used in the last video. I spoke about etheric vibration. I talked about the Shekinah glory. But I did not mention this term, and this term was a pan-dimensional friction, that when light moves through space, the motion creates a pan-dimensional friction. Okay, now, that pan-dimensional friction, what do I mean by when I say that? Now, I want to show you a couple of images, right? Okay, let's see if I can do it this way. Okay, anybody ever seen this in science class? This is the model of an atom. And in that model, you have a nucleus, which is a positive and neutral charge center. And then it creates a reaction around it called an electron, right? So you have a nucleus surrounded by electrons. These atoms form everything that exists. Now, we just got finished talking about the coming forth of the sun. The sun produces a solar system. Once again, a powerful center, positive center, shining light with great gravity, and within the flux of the gravity and the outgoing heat and light of the energy from the sun, the planets are formed around an orbit. So what you have is, once again, this pattern of a circle. Now, that's another level. Okay, now I want to show you this. This is the image of a galaxy. And in this galaxy, you have a bunch of stars that are spinning around a black hole at the center. So if you look, you'll see that the same basic pattern exists. And this is what the Quran is talking about when it talks about light upon light. It says that is if it was from a niche, well, that niche is a place where it comes together. There's a place where the energy is manifested, but it comes from a thought, an intention, the will, and the mind. And this is what we're trying to get to, this mind that is at the center and source of our being. Now, this pan-dimensional friction, it produces everything. And I want you to kind of think about this for a second, right? As far as you can go down with a microscope, you're going to find the atom. But if you could keep going further, there's no end to creation. And if I could keep going out to galaxies and the universe, the multiverse, then there's no end that way. So creation is continuously coming forth infinitely in all realms. And you and I are at the center, in the center of our consciousness and our mind. We are at the center of not only all of the physical expression of life, but also the divine mind. Some things to think about, Brother Salih. Assalamu alaikum.